welcome to the video online digital education series, in which we are going to study the next lecture on VLSI technology having subject code KEC 053. In today's lecture, we are going to cover the wafer cleaning process. Now, as you all know, in fabrication process or entire wafer fabrication technique, wafer cleaning has lot of importance, and therefore, this particular topic is separately covered in this lecture. The contents of this lecture include understanding the importance of wafer cleaning, compare the different merits or the techniques which are used, unke apne like advantages and disadvantages of those techniques, and the learning objectives, like what I expect you to learn or take away of this particular lecture includes importance of wafer fabrication, and what is the role of wafer cleaning played in the entire process, different techniques such as wet and dry cleaning, and what are the plus and minus points of those two techniques. Coming back to the importance of contamination. Now, why do we need wafer cleaning? So, unless and until we know what is the role of contamination being played in the wafer fabrication process, we cannot understand the importance of wafer cleaning, and therefore, these particular things are very important. And one of the first topic or one of the first issue related to contamination is particle contamination. Now, this particle contamination can create pattern defects, can create pattern defects, can create ion implantation defects, can create insulating film breakdown defects. Alkaline metal which is involved, or any contamination due to alkaline metal onto the wafer surface can create MOS transistors become unstable or unreliable operation of the MOS devices which are fabricated, gate oxide film breakdowns, heavy metal contamination in the metallization process that can, if appears or results or what you call residues remain onto the wafer, or the residue remains on the along with the wafer fabrication, or like during the fabrication, can increase the PN junction reverse leakage, gate oxide film breakdown, minority carrier lifetime degradation, or oxide excitation layer defects. These are the consequences of metallic contaminations. The other consequences of other organic metal like material residues include gate oxide breakdown, chemical vapor deposition variations, can like incubation times if are varied, or there are problems with the incubation times in the CVD processes, that also can lead to chemical contamination of due to organic materials, and that can lead to oxide like haze occurrences on the surface. All those things you can make out. So, these are the problems which are occurring or appearing because of the contaminations in the different fabrication processes. Another thing is inorganic dopants, such as any inorganic dopants can have voltage threshold shift. Si substrate can have or polysilicon has got sheet resistance variations, can they can result into polysilicon wafer substrate may have sheet resistance variation, like you will have varying sheet resistances over a period of range of devices which have been fabricated, and therefore, the electrical properties of the devices may vary because of that. Then native and chemical film oxide, if they are encountered with moisture and air traps or any other what you call foreign particles or like moisture content if get introduced, that also may change the contact resistance of the device, or gate oxide film breakdown can happen, or degradation of the performance of the device may happen. So, these all consequences like threshold voltage shift, oxide breakdown, unreliable operation, reverse leakage currents, all these substantiate the need for wafer cleaning. And one of the important features, like to eliminate these contaminations, wafer cleaning is of utmost importance. Now, since we have understood the importance of wafer cleaning, now let us go ahead, what are the things which are involved in wafer cleaning and how to go about it. So, again here there is a revision of thing. You have adsorption of the molecules during the different fabrication processes, you have organic material, you have contaminants such as inorganic material, you can have different particles which are included while wafers like cleaning, grinding, all those unit processes which are involved, CVD. So, unwanted particles may get may find place onto the wafer surface, and they can subsequently damage or make result into performance degradation of the device, and that you do not want to happen. And therefore, 30 to 40% of the unit processes are incorporated with wafer cleaning. Now, most of the processes are going for those processes, you are going for the wafer cleaning, and post wafer like processing also you go for the wafer cleaning. So, this is one of the important feature as far as wafer cleaning is concerned. I told you prefabrication process, wafer surface must be clean, so that, like for example, we are going to study the epitaxy. Epitaxial growth is replicating the surface layer. So, if the surface layer itself is not proper, the replication will also get affected, and that you do not want to happen, and therefore, this is very important to clean the surface before any particle that is adhered on the surface has to be removed prior to any subsequent processing, which is incorporating either layer deposition or epitaxial growth or oxide, because oxide also may have oxide trap impurities which may degrade the performance of the oxide layer which is deposited. And therefore, this removal of impurities which is happening because of the cleaning process is an essential component in the wafer fabrication. Many times you need to remove the native oxide layer also, and that also is included during the what you call cleaning process. That also in one of the process, like through cleaning you can wipe away that also. So, these are different. So, acceptable nature may, if you want to get the surface, if you want to have product yield, better product yield, good what you call profit out of it, do not want wastage that is happening because of the contamination, you are expected to carry out wafer cleaning after every important stage of fabrication. And therefore, wafer cleaning is of utmost importance. It is basically a star performer what you call process in the entire integrated circuit fabrication. Now, how to go about it? There are different techniques of wafer cleaning also. Now, what are those techniques? There are two basic techniques. One is known as dry cleaning and another one is known as wet cleaning. So, this is wet cleaning, this is dry cleaning. Of course, as the name suggests, wet cleaning will have liquid cleaning agents and dry will be having some what you call dry cleaning agents which are not done in basically in gaseous form or some other form. So, that is what is the difference between them, and each of these techniques have got their own plus minus points associated with them. And over a period of advanced fabrication techniques, these methods have also evolved equally, and there are different strategies which are to be incorporated while implementing the wafer cleaning techniques, and therefore, this is a separate topic being considered as a part of your VLSI technology. Now, what are the things? So, very first cleaning technique is known as piranha cleaning. Now, piranha cleaning, as the name suggests, you know, I think you might be knowing there is a fish called piranha, and this piranha fish has got tendency to attack in mass, like there are like plenty of they always move in groups, and whenever they attack together ferociously and wipe away whatever flesh appears onto the bottom of the sea or wherever they are, like they find any target. So, they immediately attack the target and wipe it off, like immediately finish off the target. So, this is what ferocious, this is what like what you call forcefully they attack and try to finish off everything. So, with the same feature, with the same nature inspired name they have given, and this particular method is known as piranha cleaning. Now, this piranha cleaning incorporates sulfuric acid and peroxide mixture. Now, as you know, same like piranha fishes, how they attack, the sulfuric acid has tendency to attack on the wafer surface. It will eat away whatever the contaminants are there and wipe them off. So, same tendency they will show, and therefore, the name is given as piranha cleaning. Now, the combination of H2SO4 and hydrogen peroxide is 2:1 or 4:1, and the temperature is around 80 to 90 degrees centigrade. the tendency of this particular material is to oxidize the photoresist into CO2 and H2O, that is carbon dioxide and H2O. It is applicable or it is suitable for all the organic particles. All the organic particles on the surface can be easily cleaned using this SPM solution. It is also applicable for all the metals other than copper. Copper has got specific property, and because of which it is not suitable, generally not recommended for copper cleaning, because it will eat away copper also, and the residues are quite dangerous as far as copper is concerned. So, normally for copper cleaning this particular method is not being used, because there is strong reaction of copper and sulfuric acid. So, you prevent, if there is contaminants, like it will eat away and that will result into some other like drawbacks. So, therefore, normally copper is not being used, but except copper all the metal impurities can be dissolved using this Piranha cleaning technique. Now, one thing to remember here, a note of caution is always to be considered over here. Now, what is that note of caution? The Piranha, as they attack ferociously, this particular solution also attacks the wafer substrate very ferociously, very strongly, and therefore, the temperature if elevated too much, it will drive away the contaminants into silicon wafer or into thin films, and therefore, you need to control this process and you need to ensure that there is no elevation of the temperature, or temperature is not elevated too much, and the time for which the process is to be carried out has also to be precisely controlled in order to control these adverse effect. Any adverse effect or damages are to be controlled by. Okay. So, always whenever you are using this Piranha cleaning process, you must know that it is to be cautiously used, because as the piranhas attack on this substrate, this particular solution will also strongly hamper the properties of the material. So, जितना चाहिए उतने देर के लिए ही precisely उसे use किया जाए ताकि unwanted damage can be prevented. Now, what is the next technique? So, next technique is normal standard cleaning process. Now, here this standard process is also known as RCA cleaning, and this RCA cleaning is the major part of every cleaning process. It is a 3-step cleaning process, and RCA cleaning is the standard process of every, during every fabrication stage, like you are carrying out lapping, you are carrying out polishing, you are carrying out CVD, all these processes prior to the process, or epitaxial layer growth prior to the process and post execution of the process, such what you call cleaning techniques are being incorporated. Now, what are those 3-stage cleaning techniques which is known as RCA cleaning? So, very first thing in this case is the first thing is APM. APM stands for ammonia peroxide mixture. Now, what is this ammonia peroxide? You are having combination of ammonia and hydrogen peroxide combined in the combination of 28 to 33%, like basically you are having 1:4:20, 1:4:20 portions में you are having ammonia, hydrogen peroxide and DI water, that is water. So, you have very small quantities of ammonium, little higher quantity, like double the quantity of hydrogen peroxide and 10 times the quantity of water. So, it is dissolved or made what you call dissolved in water and diluted in water, and this water is deionized water or RO water. Now, when it is elevated at the elevated temperature of 80 degrees centigrade, we carry out the process for 10 minutes, always less than 10 minutes precisely. This process will oxidize the organic films, complex metals, and can dissolve slowly the native oxide. Not only that, it can reoxidize the wafer and helps to dislodge the particles. This is what is the important phase. Now, how that thing happens? See, all the OH atoms will be automatically getting placed, they will react with the contaminants and drive away. But here also a word of caution is, if therefore, you must be noting here the ammonia or this particular composition is very small, or the quantity in which we are using ammonia is very small, because there is a tendency of NH4OH to etch away the silicon, and you do not want. So, this if carried out for longer duration can create micro pits onto the substrate wafer. So, you do not want that also. So, here also word of caution is you need to precisely do it for a particular duration, and the temperature, everything has to be very controlled and very precise. Another second stage of this process is part of RCA cleaning. Second stage, this is known as HPM. Earlier was APM, ammonia hydroxide mixture. Here we are having hydrochloric acid and hydrogen peroxide mixture. Now, what is this hydrochloric acid doing for you? This is basically, now the combination is changed. Earlier ammonia, since it is dangerous, we are using only 1 quantity of ammonia and 2 quantity of hydrogen peroxide dissolved in 10 times more water or deionized water. Here you are having 73% of hydrochloric acid, 30% of your ammonia hydroxide, and you are having, the proportion is, the both of them normally are used. Okay, this is just normally are used in 1:1 proportion and or 1:2 proportion and dissolved or diluted in DI water. Now, here the temperature is approximately 70 to 80 degrees centigrade, and the duration is almost less than 10 minutes, around 10 minutes, maximum of 10 minutes. Now, what happens in this process? This process will remove all the alkali ions and cations. All the cations, alkali ions will be removed. Now, NH4 is insoluble in the hydroxides, like in SC1 solution what we have seen, and therefore, this particular solution can dissolve all the materials like gold also. So, you can have all the metallic impurities also, residues also, which can be easily eliminated using this SC2 solution. So, first was SC1 solution, okay, solution, which was APM, ammonia and hydroxide, okay, and this is known as SC2 solution, and this SC2 solution is having, okay, we are having this as HPM. This is how, what is the difference between these two solutions are, and they both are part of RCA cleaning process. So, first one is good for removing oxide native films and other things, whereas here this is good for metallic impurities, heavy metals also, and you are having good for alkali, this is good for alkali. So, this is how you can have both the contaminants getting removed or swept away from the wafer surface. Now, comes the method which is known as RCA cleaning, part of RCA cleaning, which is, I told you, it is part of these two processes what we have seen, SC1 and SC2 are part of RCA cleaning process, and this is what is the RCA cleaning process all about. Now, here we are having all the three compositions, SC1, SC2, that is you are using APM solution as well as SPM solution also being used. Now, here the first method or first step, here it is a 3-stage process I told you. First stage is to use hydro, okay, this is H2SO4 and H2O2, it is basically for 10 minutes which is used to stripe the photoresist or whatever organics are there, especially photoresist and everything will be swept away. Then you are using hydrofluoric acid and H2O. First you are using sulfuric acid and second you are using hydrofluoric acid. Now, here the process is at room temperature, here at least you are elevating the temperature up to 100 degrees centigrade, but here we are using, okay, at room temperature. This will be used for chemical oxide, okay, whatever chemical oxides are there, they will be removed. Third is, okay, immediately after this you will clean everything with water. So, water is essential component in between the composition after cleaning this one and this one. So, that means first you will clean with H2SO4, then hydrofluoric acid, first will remove all the photoresist, whatever organic like photolithography mein whatever photoresist you are going to put the layer of photoresist onto the wafer surface, everything will be removed, its residual like residues will be eliminated, then we will eliminate all the chemical oxides. Basically, these methods are very useful when you are going for selective doping or selective areas are to be exposed to or precise areas are to be exposed for doping or oxide formation. So, you can have this particular method being incorporated, because in such methods, since the areas are very small, like you have small areas where you need to carry out the dopants, or you need to introduce dopants through ion implantation or diffusion process. So, here you need to have lot of there will be lot of places, or the mask will be comprising of many areas where you will have to have photoresist existing after the process of deposition completion of the process of the deposition, and therefore, this process is very important. Apart from it, now here comes the first SC1 process, where you are using ammonia and hydrogen peroxide mixture for completing the cleaning the process to eliminate the organics and metal particles. Again, water is the second component. This water is again coming over here, because unless and until you clean with water, the residues of this particular process also cannot be eliminated, and therefore, after cleaning the first stage, you are using cleaning with water. Again, implementing the second stage of cleaning, you are washing away all the residues of those cleaning process also using water. Then third, you are having hydrochloric acid, that is HCl, that is SC2 I am talking about. This is my SC1, this is my SC1 what we studied, and this is my SC2 what we studied earlier. So, SC2 is basically ammonia, okay, sorry, hydrochloric acid, and here it is ammonia and hydrochloric acid, here it is hydrochloric acid and H2, that is hydrogen peroxide. So, this combination is being used, it will drive away all the alkali ions, and again after every process, like this is a 3 stage process. First, the H2SO4 is being used, which is used in the Piranha cleaning. Then we use SC1 solution, okay, then we use hydrofluoric acid to neutralize all the impacts and drive away all the contaminants. Then clean with water. SC1 we use, clean with water. SC2 we use, clean with water, and this entire RCA cleaning basically is the method. It is called RCA cleaning because there was one company who has named it and taken ownership for this particular cleaning process, and therefore, it is a popular process which is used in the silicon fabrication across the board in the silicon fabrication what you call factories, or all the industries normally use this particular process, and it became like it is widely accepted all over the world. And that is why it is very important, and it is given name as RCA cleaning. It incorporates all the other processes which are existing, and it is a wet cleaning process. Now, this wet cleaning process can be carried out in a different manners. You can have a tub, you can have a container in which batch processing, like multiple wafers can be put together, and you can have a spray cleaning being done like SPM, SC1, all those things can be like standard Piranha cleaning, all those things can be incorporated into this one by one, like after again DI water will be sprayed again, like so. But the important thing what you have to remember or keep in mind is the container which is holding the wafer has to be chemically inert, has to be chemically non-reactive, should be chemically stable, and then only this wafer can be cleaned. Otherwise, what will happen is the container itself will leave the contaminants onto the wafer substrate, and you do not want that to happen. And therefore, this container or the material, just like our Joukrawski crystal growth, we have seen the importance of crucible material. So, here also the importance of the container which is holding the wafer is equally important, and therefore, Teflon and quartz carriers are used, which are basically carrying the wafers in the container itself. The container itself will be placed in the chamber, the material will be sprayed. I will show you how it is being spread. It will be spread and you will be carrying out the wafer process. This is the cleaning chamber. Here wafer will be placed one after the other, and you will have the water collision. See, here it is showing collision of water droplets with the particles will happen with spray, whatever is like forcibly the water will come, it will react with this particular substance which is available or foreign particle, it will like form a this particular like it will collision of the water droplet with water it is showing, then generation of impulsive pressure with spray, it is like force, it is being forced upon that particular particle, then generation of radiant flow, it will automatically generate a radiant flow and the particle will be removed with the impulsive pressure. Because of the impulsive pressure, radiant flow, the impulsive pressure will eliminate the particle, and this is how. So, you can use robotic, robotic cleaners, you can make use of robotic arms which will be used for cleaning, so that there is no human intervention and precision can be incorporated. Another, like weight, what are the issues with weight cleaning? There are several issues related to weight cleaning. Most important is the residual chemicals which are used in disposing them is a major problem. Another thing is there are other hazards also which are incorporated. Any excess of exposure can create surface roughness. Cleaning agents and metal contaminants may etch the silicon wafer and result into micro roughness. High concentration of ammonium hydroxide, I told you, it can result into pits creation. Additional particles can be introduced. There is difficulty in drying those wet etchants. Similarly, cost involved in of the chemical, and many times the high end processes which are latest technology which is incorporating may not use or may not adopt the wet cleaning technology, they may not support that. So, therefore, the new technique has come, that is known as dry cleaning. Now, what is this dry cleaning? You have a gas, and this gas is basically inert or such a gas which can have activation energy sufficient enough to dislodge the particle from the substrate. Now, that is what is the what you call technology being used, and with this technology you will just incorporate the activation energy just sufficient to drive away or dislodge the particle from the wafer surface, and this radiation, or you may not heat, just adequate heat will be required or moderate heat will be required, many times it may not come. So, this particular can be driven, or this particular what you call energy, activation energy can be incorporated or can come from plasma ion beam, short wave radiation and heating. The energy is used to clean the silicon wafer, but at the same time here also word of caution, any excess energy, any excess thing can damage the wafer, and therefore, what are the different techniques? You have HF and H2O glass cleaning, you have ultraviolet ozone cleaning, hydrogen and argon plasma cleaning can be used, then heat cleaning can be used. So, these are the different techniques in which in the gas chamber you are using the activation energy of argon and hydrogen and other gas what you call plasmas, and they will be used to drive away the particles. Now, this can be simultaneously checking or inspection also can be done. Here it is showing these ultrasound waves will create the patterns onto the between the wafer surface. Now, any irregularity in the pattern, any irregularity of this pattern will automatically give you the information about the micro surface roughness or presence of any particle onto the wafer surface, because immediately this will give some consequences and problems. So, here the issues include, I told you, activation energy needs to be controlled and you need to carry out the process very precisely. So, apart in combination with wet and dry cleaning, if you are using both in going hand in hand, can give you best results. That also technology, one of the ways in they both also have been incorporated many a times and they give you the best results. So, in some quantities you will use the wet cleaning, for other rest of the things for driving away the particles you will use plasma energy and drive away the particles. So, that is the that is the end of the that is the end of the cleaning process. So, before we finalize, let us summarize. If you are able to answer these questions, if you are able to list the consequences of contaminations, if you are able to discuss the different types of wafer cleaning techniques or differentiate between wet and dry cleaning techniques and find out their plus and minus points, if you are able to describe these things or understand these things, comprehend these things, differentiate between advantages and disadvantages of wafer cleaning techniques, that is wet and dry cleaning techniques, we can proceed further for the next topic, and that is dealing with epitaxy. So, thank you.